Yo, it's DJ Hed here on Housecall. They left the gate open. I snuck in, you know what I'm saying? Shout out to Sib and TJ. Thanks for having me. Make sure you go like, comment, and subscribe on all things Housecall and keep your fluids to yourself.
Housecall, what's going on? We are back for another brand new episode for the year 2025. Shit, I didn't know I was going to make it, but we did. I'm here. My name is Sibley Scholes.
TJ Ward.
The champ is in the building.
Hello.
And we have someone very special to the city of Los Angeles. Specifically, I'm going to say born and raised in Carson. Would that be right? DJ Hed is in the building.
Yo, hey, thank y'all for having me. I feel honored. I feel honored to be here, you know what I'm saying, amongst champions, pun intended. But thank you. I appreciate the hospitality.
No doubt. Thanks for being here.
Yes.
You know, to share your journey.
Yeah.
And in most recent, a lot of big things going on in your career. Yeah.
TJ was like, when we said you were coming on, TJ goes, I already know our first question. Go ahead, TJ. You already know.
What's up with the Super Bowl, man? Is you going to be on stage spinning and dealing and, you know what I'm saying? I'm trying to know, is Hed going to be up there, you know, entertaining the world with?
To my knowledge, no. I'm going to be watching like everybody else.
Okay.
I have plans to be in New Orleans.
Okay.
I don't think I've said that publicly, but yeah, I have plans to be in New Orleans for the event, but I don't necessarily. I'm not going to be participating on that level.
Okay.
To my knowledge, no.
And just side note, because y'all keep hearing some giggles right now, TJ's son is here with us in the building. So don't
It's a family affair.
Yeah, it's a family affair. My parents are here as well. So just, you know what I mean? This is how we living.
We generational around here.
Yes. 3, we hear you giggling off some Blues Clues right now. And he's drinking his apple juice. So we don't have any plans yet to be on that big stage.
I plan to be watching it in awe, just like the rest of the world.
Just like the rest of the world.
Yeah. Unless you're out of the country.
And can't get the stream. However, knowing that you will be you're not sure what the situation is yet with you being a part of that for the big day and Super Bowl.
I have no involvement.
Okay, just you're like, cut the ties, Sibley, cut the ties.
Yeah, I have no involvement.
The ties that you do have, let's just get
tickets.
into it. Let me get the dates right. Kicked off Juneteenth and Black Music Month.
Yes.
At the Forum, June 19th, 2024, the Pop-Out Ken and Friends.
Yeah.
Describe to us the emotions, you and DJ Mustard, the way that it was on that stage. You brought out more than just Los Angeles. You brought out a culture. You brought out human beings who realize this is the forefront of what hip hop is and what music is.
Well, like my big homie G Malone always say, like, hip hop is street urban culture. And anytime you see hip hop, it's a reflection of street urban culture. And so a lot of people try to segregate it a lot of times where they try to do hip hop in an egg, like almost like egg whites.
Mm.
They want it without the yolk.
Yeah.
That's not how, in its pure form, the egg come with the yolk.
They want the pop.
Right.
Yeah.
So it's like you can't really extract street urban culture out of hip hop. It's more of an inclusive thing, and just the best thing you could do is just scramble it together, right? And that's where you get the best product. And so what you saw Juneteenth was full display of LA culture. And I don't want to say West Coast. People always say, like, I say West Coast, yes. But when I say West Coast, I'm not just saying LA, like the Bay is included. You know what I'm saying? Central Cal is like that's included. Dago, like, you know, I even include Phoenix and Reno and Vegas and Washington and all these different places, Oregon, Eugene, Portland. But my point is that was a LA thing.
Yeah.
For sure.
That was an LA thing, and it was intentional. And when we got the call to do that, it was more like, okay, we're here to do a job. And I took it serious. It wasn't like, and we only had 2 days. Like, we had 1 day rehearsal and then the show day.
Really?
Yeah.
That was put together in 2 days.
So what was the rehearsal like? Yeah, what was
the rehearsal? So they presented me with like a list of like, okay, here's what we're thinking, right? Like a bullet point type. Here's what we're thinking. I'm like, I'm a role player. Like, whatever y'all want to do. Like, I'm Derek Fisher. You know what I'm saying? Like, I hit the 3 or I pass, whatever you need me to do. And so, long story short, when the list was brought to me, I'm like, all right, let's go. We all showed up to the rehearsal studio. And I didn't actually know that there were certain people on the show until they showed up. Like, it was a couple people that just showed up. I was like, oh, okay, well, this is what we doing. And to be honest, it was sketch. You know what I'm saying? Not like, it wasn't sketch in the sense, these are all the homies. Don't get me wrong. Like, I know all of these people. We all from the same city. Like, I know everybody. That wasn't what was sketch. What was sketch was people didn't know who else was on. Like, I had the list, nobody else had the list. So it's like you showing up and you don't know that she on the show. It's like, oh, okay. So it was kind of like, everybody was kind of like, what's this about? Like, what's going on? Because again, Dot and Dave and PG Lang, they're very like,
they keep it low.
Yeah, it's very low key.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
so there wasn't a lot of people who knew what was going on. It was more like, hey, come to this address. It's like, very secret society type deal. And you're going to be a part of this thing, but come to this address, and that's all they really knew.
Right. You don't know what's about to happen.
So when they show up, I'm like, yo, this is my set. I think a couple of them knew, like, this is my set. I'm responsible for getting y'all on this stage. I'm responsible for making this show fire. I got 25 minutes, and I have, 10 human beings. Like, I just need y'all to work with me. You know what I'm saying? The homies, I made one speech in the beginning when we first got there, like, hey, I understand you from here, you from here, you from there. Like, I fuck with all of y'all, but today we from LA. Yeah. And I need y'all to just be from LA for the next week. If y'all can do that for me, we gonna make history.
So that was the total intent behind it, was to show, that we coming together in one place. Because I mean, you hear what others' thoughts of across, different platforms, what the intent of the show was. I live right around the corner, and I'm mad I wasn't there because I'm leaving my house and I'm like, hey, what's going on? I ain't seen nothing on the forum schedule or what's not. And I get to my destination like, hey, man, you heard about Kendrick's show at the forum? I'm like, ain't this a month? I just left over there. I wouldn't have came here. I would have went to the forum.
Right.
Got me a ticket.
No invites.
No, nobody. I mean, a lot of people were mad at me about.
I don't even know you. I'm mad at you.
Yeah. Like, get in line. So it was a lot of people mad, but I had an objective, and the aura of the show, and from the first day to the show date was, this is pro us. This is not anti anybody.
Right.
And that's my messaging too. I'm just pro us. I'm not anti you.
Yeah.
Just because I'm pro me don't make me anti you.
So when you and Mustard, because that's the only two.
Well, it was 3 names on the bill. Me, Mustard, and Dot.
And Dot.
Yeah.
So it's cracking up. So you, Mustard, and Dot were on that bill. Even when you Google it right now, it's like, that's literally what comes up. Just the 3 of you. And then it shows on Wikipedia, here's the other people that played part in it, but you're one of the main guys. Knowing that, are you talking to Mustard directly? Are you talking to Kendrick directly? Does he tell you guys, hey, this is what I want to hear? Or does he just say, y'all do what you want to do because you have that relationship?
From the Dot side, it was, I know you got it. Like, I know you know what to do. Like, go make history. I did have a conversation with him at the forum the day of the show.
Really?
Yeah, it was just like catching up, and because we had talked during the whole back and forth. Like, we were in communication, mostly text, but I talked to him verbally a couple of times, and his temperament is always, if you watch the Squabble Up video and you see his demeanor, it's just stone face, and he just don't give. That's literally his demeanor.
Yeah, and that's crazy because that song is turning me up.
That's literally his demeanor. He's just like, I'll give you a tidbit. Like, even when the day that Not Like Us dropped, I called him that night, and I was like, yo, you won, it's over. Like, I was just going crazy. Like, this shit is crazy. It's over. Woo woo. And he's like, yeah, for sure.
I knew.
Not even I knew. He was just like, yeah, for sure. He was eating food. Like,
that's it.
He was eating some food. He was like, yeah, for sure. Like,
yeah, when you put that work in, and you already knew what it was going to do.
It wasn't like excitement. It wasn't like, it was just, I mean, I ain't going to tell you what he said, but it was just like it was just Tuesday.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And so going into the concert, I had talked to him before the show, and he was excited that day. That day I think he was just excited for the city. Like, he knew what this moment would mean for us, being that our city can be very tumultuous, but it's very territorial and it's very political. And so him knowing that, he was excited to, like, no, we about to really make a statement to the world. This is not for us. I want to make a statement for the world. I want the world. He even said it on stage at the end of the show. Like, I want the world to see this shit. I want the world to see what we are capable of, because everybody loves to paint the picture that LA is this. We took these rappers from we killed these rappers and we did this. But they never show that type of shit.
Right.
And so it's always the riots and Rodney King.
They don't show the positive.
The fires, or they never show like the homie RJ, Mr. LA and
RJ,
03 Greedo.
yeah,
They
sure.
did a show. You know, they not from the same hood. They did a show at the Novo, sold out, and it was just a peaceful concert to celebrate their differences.
That probably was a fire concert.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like things like that didn't get no press. And I went on the radio that same week and went in on every platform I could think of for not covering those things.
Yeah.
So for when Dot's point was, I want the world to see this, that's really the temperament. So it wasn't like F this person, F that person. And that was actually told to me too, like, that ain't what we own.
Right.
We pro us. That's it.
Speaking of, the difference between the Bay Area and LA, we like to explain that we cousins, but it's like two different states.
Yeah.
But being the whole of California, we take pride in each other. Even though as soon as somebody say, oh, you from Cali? No, I'm from the Bay or I'm from LA. But, we have a bond that I don't feel is different than any other state, in the country. Do you think Drake's position in this and how I feel the West Coast kind of got ostracized from hip hop a little bit because of all the things you talked about is like us as a whole, West Coast hip hop kicking that door down, that gatekeeping down is like, nah, this been our lane, it continue to be our lane, and this is where, the core of hip hop really, it may not have started here, it started in New York, but we've been carrying this and riding it.
You know what's interesting? I asked that very same question. I asked all of my big homies. I asked Ice Cube that. I asked Dog about that. I asked Dot about that. I asked Warren G about it, and they all said the same thing. They just don't fuck with us.
They don't. And
the thing is, to be honest with you, I didn't have this strong stance until I got into the business.
Mm-hmm.
I used to love, not that I don't, but I love like Bad Boy growing up. If I'm being honest with you, I listened to way more Bad Boy growing up than I did Death Row because I couldn't relate to Death Row. I wasn't a street dude.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I couldn't relate to that shit. Bad Boy, they was having fun.
East Coast was popping.
They was just having fun. I'm like, well, I want to have fun. So I listened to I was listening. Mace was my favorite rapper for like 10 years. You know what I'm saying? He put out 2 albums in 10 years. Okay, whatever. But
but it worked.
That's a long wait.
I was salty
Hey, when
about
that next Mace sale coming out.
I was salty about that. You know what I'm saying?
He was a preacher. It was a Bible verse.
I read his book and all that. But anyway, I'm saying that to say I was more on that side of the fence. And then when I got into the business, I realized how difficult it was for us on this side of the map. And then I started to gain a tremendous respect for the independent hustle of the Bay Area.
Mm-hmm.
Pac got his game from the Bay.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? Master P got his game from the Bay. Like, I started to have this respect for the Bay because I started going up there and, rocking with my boy Stretch and Mr. Fab and like all of the Thiz homies and seeing and Short too. They would just go get on the road. Mm-hmm. Andre Nicotina and the Jack. You know what I'm saying? Like,
they didn't wait for anybody.
Yeah,
they still don't.
You know what I'm saying? They just
don't.
go get on the road. And that's why the Midwest fuck with the Bay so tough.
Right.
Which is interesting because how hard Missouri fuck with the Bay and then the whole Chiefs and the Raiders.
Well, I mean, look what happened with Mac Dre.
I thought you were going down another lane.
No,
I also talked about Trey Dre too.
Yeah, I was like, Mac Dre,
somebody bring up Missouri to a Bay, first
City.
thing we thinking of
Mac
is
Dre.
not football. It's Dre for sure.
Can we get specifics for a second?
Okay.
Regional music, because I think a lot of people who are watching this about music and understanding it, and this is what kind of we're getting to. Regional music, is it still a thing where you had the down south, you had the Bay, LA, and when critics talk about, because I've seen your rebuttals about this, when critics talk about, artists talk about it, labels talk about it, Kendrick is regional. It's some LA stuff. And I've seen your rebuttals about it. Is there still regional music, or is it artists are making worldwide music? Like, what is it right now? What are we at in music?
To be honest, if I'm being completely transparent, like I told Dot this too. Like, I've been waiting for him to make this GNX album. I've been waiting for this for 10 years. Because you got to think, when Good Kid, Mad City came out, My Crazy Life came out.
Right.
Two completely different type of albums.
Yeah.
But people look at YG, oh, like that's a West Coast, that's an LA guy. Kendrick was for the world.
Yeah.
But the world rarely gave us credit for Kendrick. They know he's from Compton, but when he's mentioned, he's not mentioned as our rapper. He's mentioned as just one of the
Kendrick
greats.
Lamar, yeah.
And that's only because he's not publicly gangbanging.
No, that's because sonically he doesn't represent us
sonically.
in those ways. Because when you hear, for instance, and now this is a little bit of, music.
Nerding out. We're nerding out
This
right
is a little
now.
bit music nerd for the show, but when people hear tempo and bass line, they automatically think West Coast.
Yeah.
Anything 90 to 120 anything 90 to 110 BPM
is going to be West Coast.
They think it's West Coast.
Yeah, because it's slower. It's on
even like even people like Offset, right? Offset had a song, humongous song called Ric Flair Drill with Metro Boomin, right? That song is 100 BPM. He looks at that like it's a West Coast song. I heard him say that on the radio, right? That's not a West Coast song.
No, that's not a West Coast song.
But anything with that tempo, people automatically associate with West Coast. That's the stigma I hate. Because just because music has tempo doesn't make it West Coast. Jack Harlow, okay, I'll give you an example. Jack Harlow is from Kentucky. He's from Louisville. He loves 100 BPM. Told me this himself, right? His song, number one in the country, is called Lovin' on Me, right? I ain't no whips and chains.
That's my shit.
Tie me
I ain't gonna lie.
down.
That's probably because it got that bass bounce.
That's 105.
That's 105?
That's 105 BPM. That's the same tempo as P.D. Pablo Freak a Leak. And it's the same tempo as Kendrick stuff, right?
But
they look at Kendrick stuff, oh, that's West Coast. P.D. Pablo Freak a Leak was never looked at like a West Coast song.
No.
10 years ago.
Down south.
And Lovin' on Me wasn't looked at like a West Coast song.
No.
So why explain that to me?
I have one explanation.
Give me a theory.
My Ghetto Report Card.
Okay.
E40.
That makes,
I think
but
that
don't you think that makes
Lil
everything?
Jon
Yeah.
made, because I was in Oregon at that time, and that record was huge,
It's
man.
huge.
Like, and I think it just made, because Lil Jon produced a lot of it, so it really rotated around the South, and I think nationwide more than any Bay Area album, besides some of Too Shorts and Pacs have. And it just caught fire, man. And we got that, like you said, that stigma of this is Bay Area music, right?
So here's the thing.
Or
Going back
California.
to what you said, right? I think regional music needs to make a strong comeback because everybody sounds the same.
Yep.
Why,
in order for it to change.
Why are you from Memphis and you sound like you from Atlanta? And why are you from Atlanta and you sound like you from Texas? And why are you from LA and you sound like you from Atlanta? And why are you from New York and you sound like you from Florida?
Right.
I like listening to music, and I listen to Fat Joe, and I know he's from the Bronx.
Yeah.
It's very specific.
Oh, he's
you
from the
know.
Bronx. I hear it. I know what he's saying. But again, hip hop is street urban culture rooted.
Yeah.
How do you know what's going on in the Bronx? Because Fat Joe told us with Bronx music.
Yeah.
Cardi B told us with Bronx music.
They were very specific.
It was regional.
Outkast
Yeah.
told you. Well, yeah.
What was
You
going
get what I'm
on
saying?
in Atlanta?
Future tells me what's going on in street urban culture in Atlanta. So if you're from Memphis, that's why I think low key, that's the secret sauce that made Glow so big. Is Glorilla is from Memphis. She sounds like she's from Memphis.
Yes.
And she's unapologetically Memphis, right? Whereas most artists are chasing a sound trying to be
somebody else.
And I'm like, no. So to your point, I'm an advocate for regional music on a mass scale. It allows me to participate in other cultures without having to get on the airplane.
Right.
We know Toronto culture because of Drake.
Because of Drake.
Otherwise, how the fuck would we know?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I think even with The Weeknd and other people, Party Next Door, whatever, like all these people, you learn about their culture
because of
the music.
Yeah.
So if the music becomes not regional, how do you know what's going on?
Right. So it just needs to be more specific to or tailored to those areas. Yeah.
Because you even heard people say, oh, that's a Toronto, or when you people hear say, that's the Drake sound. What does that mean?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like
you kind of know what it means.
You kind of know what it means. So if you go on the internet and you type in, like for the producers, the artists, they type in, I need a Drake type beat. What does that mean?
What does that mean?
Sonically, what you're doing is you want the soundscape of his culture.
It's like NWA when their sound came out. It's very specific to understanding what it was. When the hyphy movement started, that's exactly what it was. I'm skipping over now. I really want to understand how your involvement with artists and the trust that they have in you to bring specifically TDE, Ab-Soul, everyone, they come to you before they put it out into the universe. Why is that trust there? How did you build that? And specifically, again, I want to go to TDE because I see how tight you guys are.
Me and Ab-Soul are from the same neighborhood. So he from Del Amo, I'm from it's a neighborhood in Carson, right?
Right.
So we both from Carson. He from the west side of Del Amo, I'm from the east side of Del Amo. And, you know, he was always just a weird dude walking around Carson rapping to himself. Like, you know, wild hair, sunglasses, like he a weirdo. You know what I mean? That's how we looked at him. He was just, you know, but to be honest, I wasn't where he was. He's beyond me mentally. And so I think that we had that connection. And then the rest of the homies, like, again, being with Glasses, Malone, and Pooh, like them taking me around other artists and stuff. J-Rock at the time was the front person. And he had a deal. He was the only person out here with a deal. He was signed to Warner Brothers, and that was like the golden goose out here. And K-Dot was his hype man. And then they ended up bringing on Q. And we just used to be over there. We would all just be, so Top had a house close to my neighborhood, and we would just go over there and be at Top's house. And in the back house, he had this little back room set up like a studio. And they was just in there rapping on that busted ass mic. Fun fact, the reason why you hear Kendrick start doing them little funny voices on records, and you know how he do characters, that's because Ali, shout out to Mixed by Ali, that's my brother, like, he started to tweak his voice because the mic was fucked up. So the mic was fucked up, so he started playing with his voice so that you couldn't tell the mic was fucked up.
That's where all those little...
That's where that started. Yeah. So
his
like,
little background type.
Little tweaks. Ali started doing that so he could mix around the broken mic. That's dope. We just was going over there and like we just started like building, and I don't know, I think the trust came because I've just been the homie so long and I've been around, they know my intentions, and we've always elevated. Like we both elevate. Like we started doing internet radio, homegrown radio out of Chuck Dizzle's apartment, and they pulled up. And at that time, the radio station out here wasn't playing hip hop.
Right.
And so we became a haven for hip hop. We had Jack come down, you know, shout out to, rest in peace to the Jack.
The Jack.
We had like hella people all over California,
showing love and
SoCal, NorCal, like everybody pulling up to Chuck's house in Inglewood, this random apartment. And we was going live on the internet. What would be the equivalent to like Twitch now. And we just go live on the internet and just do radio, and what we thought was radio. And actually, K-Dot changed his name to Kendrick on our show.
Switched it, or you suggested to Kendrick Lamar?
It was an intentional thing because he knew where he was trying to go. He knew that he was gonna, like, you don't, obviously you can't go, but looking back, we knew, like, oh, like, he finna do some different. He's about to do something different. And I don't know, like, people wasn't fucking with us. They weren't. That's just the truth. People was not fucking with TDE.
They weren't paying attention.
They didn't care. They was like, oh, they weird. All that stuff. Like, you know, I've had conversations with the homies about that, where certain entities and individuals who, you know, man, that should, you know, because at the time, you got to think, the whole world is going oonts, oonts, oonts. And they doing, you know, intricate raps and little melodies, and you know, they just doing something different.
Timing was different.
It's the blog era. But I think the changing of his name was an intentional thing to kind of launch what he knew would be a legendary run. And I mean,
yeah, I mean, it looked like he was like, okay, I want to be more than a rapper, right? I'm an artist.
I'm not speaking for him, but from my vantage point, there was an intention to change his name because he was like, I want to be me. And this is who I am. I'm not a K-Dot. I'm not you know, whatever gimmick. I want to be me.
Yeah.
It's a government name. You know what I'm saying? Kendrick Lamar, Duckworth.
Know who I am.
Yeah.
I have a couple more questions because I'm going to switch over to AI.
So let's do it.
I know you're ready. All the things. And you jump into TJ, let me know. The levels, and I keep bringing up Kendrick because it's just so special what he's done. And I don't want to say just for Los Angeles because it's not. It's worldwide.
Yeah.
You can't go anywhere without hearing any of the records, right? Any of the songs. What would you say? Are you guys brothers? Are you family?
Definitely fam.
And the level of confidence that he has, the level of intelligence that he has, a Nobel Peace Prize winner as well, in addition to everything else, acting on screen. What will the Super Bowl bring to him that others have seen, like the Beyoncés, the Princes, who have created this legacy in their life? What more can Kendrick get from a stage like that? And personally, how could you say he is as a human being?
Everything is intentional. He doesn't do anything without intent. I think he's going to be extremely intentional with this. The messaging, the wardrobe, the everything, the shoes,
Top to bottom.
I think we might see some imaging that's going to be shocking to people because on that type of stage, right? I think that his Super Bowl appearance will be culturally potent.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I think.
Hidden in
Culturally
plain
potent.
sight.
Correct.
If you
Okay.
get it, you get it.
As far as him as a person, I always say I wish people knew how funny he was. Because people look at him like Tupac, like he Black Panther and
Stoic.
stoic. And I'm stoic as hell, but like he's extremely funny.
Like dad joke funny
No.
or like
Like he'll get on your ass funny.
oh,
got
he getting
jokes.
on you.
Yeah, jokes.
Six
Wait, what's the worst he
cans.
said to you when you walked into a room? Has he got on you?
Oh, we was on tour. They used to rap about me every day. Like they used to freestyle. I'll show you the video.
Cans and
About
raps.
your look or your
They
outfit?
used to call it the big head dance.
Why? What were you doing?
They were just freestyling on the bus. I'll show you the videos. I got the
You have
video.
Oh, we
video?
gotta put
Do you?
your
I
vid.
know you remember
Hey.
one of the lines because
I
it
got it
had
in
the
my phone.
sting.
I don't remember I just remember the hook.
What was the hook?
The hook was I do my big head dance, big head dance, big head dance.
You just walk on the bus.
It was a 4-bar hook.
4-bar hook. It's crazy.
It was a 4-bar hook. and
Repetitive.
I do my big head. They would like take turns rapping, talking shit about me.
And then freestyle.
Yeah, freestyle.
Hey, that's how you know you family though. For sure. And
Yeah, go ahead.
jokes aside, you bring up, Kendrick and Tupac, right? The GNX album, it reminds me a lot of my favorite album is Tupac's All Eyes on Me, right? That album was
Yeah.
communal for the Bay and California completely. Like you listen to that album, it's all California artists. And like, you haven't seen that really much at all until, Kendrick's. And then how he, like you said, we talk about the pop out, them being political statement makers, Black Panthers being the home, California being the home of Black Panthers.
Mm-hmm.
But then you say he has that funny side and a softer side, and people don't either give him the credit for it or don't even know it's there.
Yeah, the duality of
Basically,
them.
is the GNX album basically for California gonna do what that All Eyes album did?
I think it's already done it.
Okay.
I mean, you got to look at newcomers like Peso and Lefty Gunplay.
Mhm.
They on the Billboard Hot 100. Lefty Gunplay is on, you know what I'm saying? Like these people, top 5, top 10 record in the country.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, hello.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Shabuzi is still a thing.
Yeah.
Shabuzi
You know what I'm
is
saying?
still, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like
Just
these
with
things still
Beyonce.
exist. You know what I'm saying? Mariah Carey fought hard for that All I Want for Christmas to get back up there. You know what I'm saying? But it's
She
like,
killed that.
but like I think it's already done that, and it's, again, everything's intentional. Like there are nothing but our artists on that project, and as you can see, what it's done for them. Like a lot of these artists you never heard of.
Yeah.
We know who they are; they the homies, but y'all never heard of these people.
Right.
So the world has never heard of these people. That's a testament to the intentionality of how he moved. It's all intentional. Even being on the pop out, I think. That was intentional. Mustard being on the pop out, that was intentional. Like
Absolutely.
the artists that were on that stage, that was intentional.
Those artists on that stage, SZA is one of them who, I mean, I've known her since the Revolt days. You know what I mean? Did one of her first interviews where I knew how she was on camera. It was like not okay for her in the beginning. You know what I mean? But she is her trajectory, what she has done and owned under TDE and had her own ownership to be able to do that. Russell Westbrook, obviously Hit Boy. Hit Boy's up there all the time. He needs to be up there. Dre, LeBron, DeMar DeRozan. Intentional. Still to right now. This is not just some we're playing around. We had these people up here for a reason. When you saw that, not knowing going into what it was, with you and Mustard, did it make you smile?
Honestly, I was worried.
Really?
Well, because we didn't know. Remember how I told you like everything's kind of aloof? It's top G14
Not giving
class.
you information.
That wasn't rehearsed. We didn't know we were going on stage until that night. Like not even before the show. Like while he's on stage doing like, he's like, this is like right after I think they did the Black Hippie shit.
Yeah.
They come off stage and everybody's phone is going off. And so everybody checking their phone. And my manager, Salas, he goes, yo, Dot want everybody on stage. I'm like, what you mean? That wasn't on the, what you mean? That wasn't on the run of show. Like, what you mean? He's like, he want everybody on stage when he after he do the last song. I'm like, so what you mean by everybody?
Like, who is everybody?
You know what I'm saying? Like, you mean everybody or you mean everybody? You know what I'm saying?
Right.
It's a difference.
Yeah,
You know
for
what I mean?
sure.
Like, you mean the human beings who had a microphone?
Everybody or everybody?
Or you mean the human beings who had a microphone and the human beings that came with those human beings that had a microphone? He said he want everybody on stage.
Wow.
All right, well, let's go on stage then. So then there's like, when you go backstage, because everybody getting the messages, there's just a sea of human beings. Just a sea. And I'm just like, oh shit. Like, I wasn't worried about anything happening because everybody has too much respect
For each other.
That's why you didn't hear nothing about that night. Nothing happened leaving in the parking lot. Nothing happened. No one wanted to be that person.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying? Even people who felt uncomfortable, there were people who left, you know, like, man, I ain't comfortable. Like, y'all do y'all shit.
Mm-hmm.
But
respect again.
It's just it's an immense amount of respect that certain individuals have in this city where you don't want to be the person that violates that respect.
Yeah.
And he's one of those people where it's like, we're not finna violate that.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's different. You know what I'm saying? Being an athlete where y'all can relate to this. A lot of athletes come from tricky environments. Usually an athlete in those tricky environments, the dudes that monitor that area are like, no. He go to school.
Right. Take care of him.
He playing ball. Like, let him go to football practice. You know what I'm saying? Whereas if you're not involved in sports, you're not an athlete, whatever, it's like, oh, well, you know, what's up with him?
Yeah.
That's usually like how you look at certain individuals in my city. It's like, no, not him.
Don't mess with him. Let him do his thing.
You're not finna violate that. So I was excited once it was over. Like, oh my God. Like, I had two reliefs. One relief is when I got off stage, my job is done. Now it's on Mustard. But my job, I did my job. I got everybody on, got everybody off. We rocked it. Like, I did my job. I was satisfied with that. And then when I went to go eat and I was able to sit down after the show and I was eating my dinner, I was like, that was cool as fuck. Like, thank God. You know what I'm saying? I'm really grateful. I hit him and the homies and Dave and Ant and everybody, and it's like, bro, like, thank you for that. Like, you know, that was life-changing for a lot of us.
Yeah.
So I don't necessarily, I was happy that at that point.
When you got to decompress.
I didn't get decompressed for like the whole weekend.
Oh, well, hell.
Until the whole week. I didn't even, because I went home that night. I couldn't sleep. Like, you still on the high. Like, it's like winning a game, like a big game. Like,
do you feel that night would ever be replicated ever? And I don't know your relationship because I know we were at radio briefly in passing together. And then also when I was at Revolt, I interviewed Nip for a second on his stuff. Do you feel any of Nipsey's influence in that? Or do you see any crosses? I mean, you know what I mean? I've never talked to you about this before. So, and I know Nipsey Hussle again is... That
was the friend too. Yeah. With Nip, same thing. You never heard of Nip being violated.
Mm-mm. Nip
was another one of them people, like, even from his opposite side. It's like, he just had respect. It's certain people where, I mean, this LA, it's always gonna be politics. But it's certain people you politic with a certain way.
Right.
And Nip was one of those people who had the respect of most humans. You know what I'm saying? Like, it wasn't like fuck him. Like there's always gonna be those types of people, but
Of course.
his presence was definitely in there. You know, Mustard did that big for him, but I think when you see something like I don't know, I think Big Boy kind of described it to me best. Like he said, because we were really affected by the Nipsey thing, you know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
In a different way. And it wasn't even because we lost a rapper or we lost a homie or whatever. Big Boy told me, he said, you know why you feel how, like, cause I was crying and I'm like on the radio sobbing and yelling and, you know, whatever. And he was like, no, you feel like that because Nip was in your phone. That's why you feel like that. Pac wasn't in my phone. You know what I'm saying? Like different people I didn't have that kind of relationship with. Like Jack was the homie, but I didn't hang out with Jack.
Right, it's different.
Nip would call me at 8 o'clock. I don't know why the fuck he would get up so early. But he would be in the studio all night and FaceTime me 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock in the morning, top of the top. Like, bro, I'm asleep. What's up with you? Like you know what I'm saying? But he was just one of them type of people. Like, you know, we was like homies and he listened to me and respected me. And like, he told me something one time that really stuck with me to this day. Going back to that trust that you talked about earlier.
Yep.
I built a rapport in this city where artists trust my ear, but they know like I ain't never took no money from nobody to play no records. You can't pay me for a consultation. You can't pay me for my opinion. I don't host mixtapes. You can't pay me for my cosign. Like, if I fuck with you, I fuck with you. If I don't like the record, I'm gonna tell you I don't like the record. And I think that's where that rapport came from in this city.
Honesty.
I think that's
it's just an authentic thing. From Blast to Roddy, like, you know, I told a bunch of people I didn't like their music, you know, and or go hustle harder, or, you know, YG was mad at me at one point. But like with Nip, what stuck with me to this day is like when they was doing Victory Lap, it was the summer before it came out. We was at the studio like every other week. We was at the studio. They had this compound. It was Nipsey and Mike and Keys and my guy Mars and BJ the Chicago Kid. And they had this facility and I would just be in there all the time. You know, Bino would be there, Roddy would be there. But yeah, they would play, Nip was like playing me the album and I'm just like, something missing, bro. You ain't got no slaps. And he was like, what you mean? Like, I said, well, I told him like, you make like high level boutique rap. So if you picture, imagine if you picture yourself shopping in a boutique.
Right.
Y'all rich, y'all both been in boutiques. So,
wait a minute.
So like, when you go to a boutique, you might get this shirt or a jacket that might be 101. And I was telling him that's the type of music he make. I said, but what if I shop at Walmart? What if I shop at Target? Where's the music for me? And so he was like, anyway, long story short, I fucked the mood up in the studio. Killed the vibe. Nip, he walked out the studio and he was like rolling his blunt up and he hit the blunt and I was leaving because the vibe is killed. I'm finna leave. So we leaving, me and my manager, and he was like, hey, check it out. I'm like, oh shit, I'm about to get uninvited. You know what I'm saying? Back to the sessions. And Nip was like, come here, come check it out. So I go over there, I'm like, what's up, bro? He was like, hey, bro, you be saying wild shit to niggas. That's what he said. He said, you be saying wild. He said, I watch you say wild shit to everybody. This is the first time you said some wild shit to me.
I was waiting.
He said, but you know why they fuck with you? I was like, why, bro? He said, because your intentions is pure. He said, that's why I fuck with you. I said, bet. I appreciate that. He said, give me 2 weeks.
Yeah.
And then he said, give me 2 weeks. And then 2 weeks later, he texted me. He said, I made one for you.
Wow.
Which one was it?
I said, send it to me. He said, nah, I'm going to put YG on it, then I'm going to send it to you. Last time that I checked was the last record. That was the last record he made for Victory Lap. That was because of that conversation.
Banger.
Last time that I checked.
Yeah. For sure.
Really?
So like,
true story.
That's crazy.
The passion, the care, you know, anything you do, you behind it 100%. And like you said, you can't be bought out. It's all genuine. You like it, you hate it. This is the opinion of me, right? You're going to get it. I seen you join the Grammy board because you didn't see some of the things you liked going on within that.
Yeah.
Tell us a little bit of some other things that you've got involved with trying to turn the tide of how things are going and how you think they should go.
I got into radio because I'm a fan of radio and I didn't like the temperament of radio. Try to get on a radio station. You know what I'm saying? I became a DJ because one, a couple of reasons. My big homie made me a DJ, but also I just didn't like how some of the DJs was DJing. All right, let me go figure out how to do this myself. You know what I'm saying? I couldn't find I started editing video. I started editing audio. I don't like the way he editing these videos. I could try to figure this out. You get involved. And the same thing with, I'm the chairman of the board for the Boys and Girls Club, the Media Advisory Council of the whole Metro LA. Because I wanted to be involved. Like, it's too many thumb thugs on the internet.
Hello, say
you need
that
to
again.
Execute. Say what you want to do. Yes.
My mom didn't raise me like that. Like, I don't know who is raising these people where they just get on the internet and just complain or they nag or they bitch about, well, you need to pay me attention. Why? Who are you? Or you need to value my opinion. You got a podcast or a stream that everybody watch. Why?
Right.
What is your why? My why is because I want to either correct behavior or add something of value to it. That's the only reason I do anything. So same thing with the Grammy board. I was one of them thumb thugs. Kendrick got robbed. Macklemore is, whatever, right? Do you understand how the Grammys work? No.
So you
go join the Grammy board.
Yeah.
I have this conversation I was at the radio station and I was sitting across from an artist. I did 7 years at iHeart. I'm sitting across from an artist and the artist is telling me how to get on the radio.
Wow.
At the radio station. Explain that to me. That's like me telling you, well, this is how football works.
Right.
Like, what the fuck are you talking
Me
about?
trying to tell you what records is.
So I'm just saying, like, there's a lot of people who just feel entitled or empowered or emboldened in a way that they can speak to something where they have no knowledge, no expertise, no experience, no training, or no wherewithal to even understand that they completely out of pocket for doing that in the first fucking place.
Right.
So it's just like, I don't do that. I like we was talking earlier, I respect my elders. I respect my OGs. I tap in. I'm a student. I'm a teacher, but I'm never not a student. I always want to learn. I learn financial literacy, right? I fix my credit, teach my friends, fix their credit. Like it's just certain things that I want to get involved in because it's just a lot of people just doing a lot of nothing. They just talking.
Right.
And I wasn't raised like that. If you have a problem with something, like, do something about it.
There was a quote on IG and you were at the Boys and Girls Club. And I told TJ, I was like, he's giving back in this video. And your quote under it was, anyone can have a platform. The question is, what will you do with it? So knowing your next moves, what you want to do, pay it forward it seems like is what you want to do, and give back to those who are coming up underneath you, but also show people you need to, if you're going to have a word, use that word and execute, not just say it.
What's your why?
Yeah.
My spiritual advisor be telling me, like, I'm a trailblazer.
Yeah.
And how I look at it is where if you look at it like a forest or a tree line, and a lot of people, if you've ever been hiking, you take the trail. She's like, the reason why your life is so hard because you're not taking the trail. What you're doing is making a trail for somebody else. And so I'm like, oh, okay, I get it. So I understand. That's why spiritually, mentally, physically, everything is so turbulent. It's very turbulent.
Yeah.
I live a very turbulent public life because I'm creating trails.
Right. Instead of just following where it's supposed to go.
And I'm being led spiritually. I'm being led by purpose. And my purpose is that. So I believe in that. So I don't deviate, or I don't turn around and go back and find an easier route. So what I mean by that is people who have platforms. Okay, you got this platform. Okay, you the number one guy in media. What are you doing with that though?
Yeah.
Just like people when the fires happen, it's like everybody's like, well, Karen Bass this and Gavin Newsom that. Okay, but what are you doing?
What are you doing to? Yeah.
What are you doing? I'm dropping off clothes, water, food. I'm organizing this, sending trucks. What have you done? Oh, you haven't done shit. But thumb thug.
But
okay,
you want to talk about it.
You know what I'm saying? So it's just like, I don't know. Like,
Did
that's
you
not
vote
how
for your city officials?
Yeah. Do you vote?
Do you vote? Yeah.
My problem is it's just a lot of people doing a lot of nothing.
Yeah.
And they talk about what everybody else is doing, but it's like, bro, what are you doing?
Mm-hmm.
That's where I'm coming from.
And that makes a lot of sense. And we talked about that too. And thank you for all you've been doing with these fires out here in LA and showing people there is an option, you can get help. Something that it really sparked my interest, CES, obviously you working with Will.i.am. I don't know how that relationship came about.
Yeah.
But you are the music curation lead. I want to get this right for FYI AI.
Yes.
Will.i.am talks a lot about the future. We can't say that AI is now the future because we're living in it.
Yeah.
What does your relationship with him? How did that start? And then what does that mean being the music curation lead for FYI AI?
FYI is a platform. It's an app. This is not our official statement, but I describe it to people as team comms like Slack, has a calendar, has group chats, projects, PowerPoint, Canva. It's all these apps. And then also ChatGPT all in one app, but it's also a radio station, multiple radio stations built all into the same app, and it's free. And so it's free on the App Store right now, Google and Apple. But we met. Shout to Mackenzie. She told me like, I really think you should meet Will. Like he would love you. Like y'all both from LA. Y'all both real niggas. Like but y'all like super geeks.
Yeah, I heard this story on somebody. It had me cracking up.
I used to hang out. Will, he knows. He still goes to the Raider games too, by the way. I used to party with him. We did the after hours.
Yeah.
You know those after hours.
Yes.
He's the best.
No, Will is in very intriguing mind, and we think a lot alike, and so we just clicked, and he was like, you know what, like take my number, let's, and so we ended up linking up, and I started meeting the team. Shout out to Julie and everybody, and they were like, we're building this thing out. FYI, we think you'd be a perfect fit for it. Would you be willing to come on and like lead the team? I'm like, hell yeah, like. Will from LA, like, let's do it, whatever. And I think where our bond comes is we're music nerds, we're real nerds, and our love for the brown community is exponential because we both he from East Los, I'm from the East Side.
Yeah.
So like, it's the same thing, you know what I'm saying? Like we're both black and brown we're pro black and brown. And so that's the line we push. I came on to do that, and the AI movement is like, huge right now, and everybody's scared, and so one of our things is trying to get people to not be scared, because when the internet first came out, people were scared of it. You know what I'm saying? Like, can you imagine taking internet to the 1950s and showing somebody they'd have you jailed?
Right.
Yeah, I'm scared of TikTok
Hang
at
on,
first.
Miss
I was like, I ain't getting no that shit. The Chinese remnant?
Can you imagine taking an iPhone?
No, they'd be like, it's witchery.
Taking an iPhone to
like
ancient Egypt and taking a picture of the pyramid that they built and showing it to them. They're gonna be like,
what is this sorcery?
Yeah. Like he has a ungodly, like you'd be burned at the stake.
Right. Yeah, that'd be it. That'd be it for you.
What we're trying to do is combat that stigma around AI.
Okay.
AI doesn't have to be this doom and gloom, doomsday. It can be something very helpful.
It could be great, yeah.
It could be it could be something that's really, really dope and useful. And within the app, there's also translator and like art generator, stuff like that. But the main thing about my role is I am the music curation lead. So I basically program the radio stations. So we have radio stations built into the app.
Yeah.
And I lead the team that programs those.
Okay.
But obviously we're working on hella other stuff.
Yeah.
Man,
we're watching out for you, and we gonna make it. Okay.
Stay.
Last but not least, Nipsey Hussle, Snoop, Game, Kendrick, the plethora of folks, not just in your Rolodex, but actually friends of yours. Is there one that stands out that gave you the best advice so far, or pulled you to the side and said you're doing great, or just gave you something that you always hold with you?
Honestly, yeah, there's been a few moments I've had like that. I've had that moment with Dog. I've had that moment with Nip. Had that moment with Dot. I just had a recent one that I wasn't expecting. Game actually hit me up and gave me a really stern talking to on some positive energy, like do this, don't do that, like, like I don't know, like I don't even know what put it on his heart to do that, but like he just randomly hit me up and just poured energy into me and just like, this is what I see, this is who you are, like, this is what I see for you, and like, you're gonna be bigger than me and all of it. Like he just went crazy, and I was just like, damn. It just tripped me out, because low key, and I told him this, what made me really decide to want to be on the radio is 2003 whatever your documentary came out, 2003,
I think it was
2003.
2003.
2003, I went and I was doing radio production. I was taking radio production classes because I was like, oh, I want to do radio. And him and Felly Fell got on the radio when the documentary came out, and they was on the radio all day. And they was just playing music, talking shit, and I was like, I want to do that with my life. And so it's kind of like a full circle moment for me.
Does he know that story?
I think I shared that with him when we talked. We talked on the phone for a while. I pulled up to the studio. We talked for a while, and then he ended up pulling up to a Chargers game, and we talked. That's where he really told me the real, and so I appreciated that.
No.
So you're a Chargers fan?
I was
No, I mean I'm Rams. I mean,
okay, let's
the
be
thing
specific.
is, I'm gonna be honest with you, because I'm not. My allegiance is to the city.
Oh Lord.
So I'm Rams, I'm Chargers, I'm USC, I'm UCLA, I'm all at Kings, I'm LAFC.
LAFC.
I'm LAFC, I'm Galaxy, I'm all that. I'm with all of that.
And now you Housecall. Do you want to wear this helmet?
You could take, look, you wear this on your next set.
Wear it on the
Be
next
all
set.
good. You feel me?
What size helmet is that?
We haven't measured.
Nah, I think that's for
I think it's for
Sid
me.
head.
I
That
have a
ain't for
peanut
me.
head, so I don't know if it's
That's
going to
like
fit.
Yeah.
Are you thinking about it?
No, I'm just saying I'll probably bust all through that.
That's a cold helmet, though. That's a cold helmet.
I mean, he did have a song called.
Yeah, the big head. How does it go again?
My hat, and for the record, fuck you people.
What's your hat size?
7.5.
Oh yeah, I'm about 3/4.
That's what I'm saying. My head not really even that big, bro.
No,
It's just
7.5 is a big
No,
head.
that's not that. No.
I have a
5/8
6
is
and
big head.
3/4.
Yeah, see,
he got 7 5/8 right now. My
3/4.
Just stop buying fitteds.
I wore
Well, the
snapbacks. forever.
snapback's gonna be on the last two. Gonna be, you know how that go. They pop off when you wearing it. It be over with.
Well, I don't have hair either.
Yeah, well, I do.
DJ Hed in the building with us.
Is that why you got your name?
Yeah.
I didn't. This whole interview, I didn't put them two together. Am I
Yeah, the
crazy?
Wait,
homies
this
just the homies in my when I was coming up, shout out to the basketball team at Gar High School. They just wouldn't call me Aaron.
They called you Hed?
Damn it,
They was like,
man.
I'm like, bro. See, I got jokes too.
DJ Hed is in the
We can kick a session if y'all want.
We
Cause I got jokes.
Wait, how'd that hook go again?
Big head
Oh,
dance.
This is it. How did it go?
Big head dance.
Big head. No, but
dance.
you know
Big
you
head
know it.
dance.
How did it go when they walked in and you was sitting there?
It was just big head dance. It is
Hey
not-
man,
got
I think we
Carson's
all go
own.
through that period of life
Bro,
where
you
you
don't
just
pick your
get
own nicknames.
hell no. You just
Not
get
in the
rolled
hood.
on by the OGs, the older kids or whatever, until you just be like, you know what, I'm just gonna roll with it. Fuck it.
Yeah.
Cause you
Listen,
fight it.
You could be like
It's gonna be
Doughboy,
worse.
Like the homie Doughboy. It's because he fat. You know what I'm saying? You don't get to pick your nickname.
Hey, you watch The Wire, right?
Yeah, I seen The Wire.
Where we
That's how
going?
you get the snot. The first episode of The Wire say, why they call him snot? He came outside cold one day, snot running down his nose.
That's it.
Now you snot for the rest of his life.
I'm like, bro, my name is Aaron.
That's how it
Your
works.
name is Head.
yeah.
AARON or ER?
AA.
Oh, there you go.
And
Double
then,
A.
and then spelling, I'm a nerd, so I'm good at video games. So like you know
Xbox or PS?
well, I'm old school, so I'm talking about when I was coming up.
Sega?
Super Nintendo.
When I was coming up, you know when you get a high score, it gets you them 3 slots to put your
Yeah,
initials.
yeah, on the
so I just took the
arcade.
A out. So that's how I got my name, DJ. It's HED. Just Head.
HED, I did notice that.
I feel like we've done so much here today at Housecall.
But for the record, I'm a gaming PC guy. You know what I'm saying? I build my own computers, kiss my ass.
Carson's Own, holding it down for Los Angeles and I'm going to say the world.
World
DJ
renowned.
Head in the building with
Yeah, we
Housecall.
outside.
We appreciate you.
I have a question.
What's
Uh-oh.
up?
So when you win a Super Bowl, what does that do for, like, do you get, so, okay, for instance, like, the homie just hit a parlay, right?
Not parlay.
The parlay comparison. Let's go.
The homie just hit, I was with Skilla Baby in Vegas, right?
Yeah, okay.
Skilla Baby just hit for 200,000 on a parlay. How does that benefit, like, incentive, because when I play 2K, right?
Oh, Jesus.
When I'm playing 2K and it's like I do a photo shoot, I get an incentive, I get a check. Or if I win by 30 points, I get a check. You know, in the game.
Yeah, yeah.
So when you win a Super Bowl, what incentives are a staple to that? Like, do you get, like, how do you benefit from that?
Well,
He's
it's
asking how much money
really
you
for
make.
the glory and the love of the game because based on your salary, it could be a pay cut. So a playoff game, for example, say you come in the first round, everyone on the team gets $20K for that game.
Okay.
So I might be making $100K a game.
Right.
I'm only getting 20 this game. So the next round you win, you get 50.
Oh.
I might be a $10,000, $15,000 a week player. So $100K or $50K for that win is a bouncer for me. But for the guy that's making $50 million, that's a pay cut. Even the Super Bowl, you get $250, right? You win, you get $250 bonus. The win, it ain't maybe not even that. So the winner gets something, the loser gets something. Usually for most people, you win the Super Bowl, that's enough. But you're gonna get your little money, but it could also be a pay cut. It could be a pay raise. So that's pretty much how that go. So a lot of times, most guys in the NFL, you watching the playoffs, if you out there watching the playoffs, those guys are likely playing for a pay cut. They're not getting more money, they're getting less.
I didn't know that.
That's awful.
And then I got one more question.
Yeah, right?
I want
Somebody
more
told me that. I was like, hey, wait a minute.
What?
How do they test for CTE?
You can't find CTE until you pass away. So they cut,
because they have to examine the brain.
That's why I was asking. So they
Yeah, I mean, a lot of it may be attested to like characteristics, emotional ups and downs, memory loss,
things that are
sensitivity
repetitive
to
that you see,
light, you know, things like that, concussion symptoms, and then temperament, man. A lot of times it's found or thought to be found by someone's temperament. So you out there acting belligerent and outside your body, flashing quick, low patience.
Signs of it.
Signs.
Yeah.
And then, okay, my last question. Sorry. So when you go into a game like a big game, Super Bowl, you know, playoff, whatever it is, right? When you go into the game, is everybody hype or is everybody serious?
Ooh, that's a good one too. For us, when we went into the games, we were like control chaos. Like we were real calm. Like the locker room was quiet. Everybody was focused. And then when we got outside, it was like that inched out slowly and slowly. So pregame, we got a little bit more pumped. We seen Carolina. It was like, okay, we up now. They start talking to us. It's like, nah, fuck that. It's on. And then once that whistle, we turned all the way up by the time that first whistle go off. And now we snatching face masks, slamming guys, getting flags. Got to calm down. You got to bring it down. But yeah, man. But every team is different. You know, every team is different. It's only one reason we won that Super Bowl that year. We just had a great group of guys that the chemistry was all together. We had the same temperament, same
what's
mentality.
the shit talking like?
Oh, it's big shit talking. Big shit talking.
That's TJ's
The only reason
That's
I'm
me.
asking is because in the NBA now, they starting to really like regulate that.
Yeah,
Where
I
you
hate
can't
it.
talk shit.
Because of the explosiveness of it, you know,
Yeah.
and it's very, you know, it can ignite fast. But on the football field, it seems like y'all be saying whatever y'all want to say. Like,
Yeah.
and they don't regulate that.
No, they try to do a little bit, but
They don't
you
throw
know,
flags.
That's hard though.
nah,
'cause
they're
there's-
not throwing no flag.
They
or
don't
no
never
thing.
throw flags.
But you
No,
know
'cause
what?
there's
At
too many
one
players
point,
on the field, yeah.
you know, the nigga, they would throw a flag on you. Like it was like for a couple years, they was like, you can't say that word. And I don't know how it is now. It maybe it could carried on. Damn, I
These are
just
the white
stuttered
people
like a
say.
mother.
Carry it on.
I've never stuttered like that. Ever studied like that. So I know when I was on my way out, like my last 3 years, they were definitely trying to regulate. Like, hey, I'm like, hey,
You know
brother.
who we gotta ask about that?
Hey,
Marshawn. We gotta talk to Marshawn.
Yeah, for sure. Because I know they had called me a couple times like, hey, Ward. I'm like, hey, look, check this out. You ain't finna be out here telling me what I can and cannot say. That's what you're not gonna do. It's too late.
It don't matter.
But they really was trying to regulate it. Even the coaches was coming in like, you guys can't say the N-word out there.
So, okay.
All right. Let's see how fast that stops.
We got more questions.
Nah, I'm
This will
good.
be the after episode, after hours
I'm sorry.
of Housecall. Don't ever apologize. Thank you for
No, I ain't
trekking
never
through
had
everything.
a ref try to tell me to watch my language since Pop Warner. So it was twice in my life a ref. It was when I was like 9.
What's the
and
craziest thing
29.
somebody said to you?
Oh man, the craziest thing, I tell this story off the camera all the time. Ray Rice.
What he say?
Oh, you say his name.
Ray Rice, yeah, because he said this to me. And he even apologized later on because he knew he was out of bounds. Yeah, good dude. Ray Rice, good dude, man. I'm like, you talking outside your body. You crazy. Tell me you're going to spit in my mouth. First off, I thought it was kind of questionable. I'm like, what?
Wait. He said he was going to spit in your mouth?
He said, I will spit in your mouth.
And he said that
getting off the pile.
He said that.
And I got up like.
Hold on, look. He said that out of anger or like passion?
It was no. See, look, that's what I was trying to figure out. I was like, hey, man.
Excuse me.
What? My first thought was anger, right? Because we both angry. I'm like, man, boy, that'd be the last thing you ever do in your life. Like, boy, you just don't know. Then I walked away and I told my teammate, and you know, when you say something, you got to hear it back. Yeah. So I'm like, wait a minute. I almost went to his huddle. Hey, bro, what you mean by that, bro? Come on, we got to get this together. What did you mean by that?
What you mean? I think he's pretty self-explanatory. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Spit could be a substance or fluid in one's mouth and or projectile.
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
Come on now.
Being used as a verb.
Hey, nah, man. Look.
This has been another
that was
episode.
the worst and weirdest thing anyone ever said to me on the field. But I don't know. We won the game, but we had an understanding. Like, hey, bro, I'm not, guys say crazy stuff on the field to see but I'll catch you out. I'll catch you outside. Like,
allegedly.
Allegedly.
Sid, go ahead and wrap your shit up before he catch a case.
Not like that. I'm just talking about hands and feet.
It don't matter.
Hands and feet.
That's a crash out.
Hands and feet gonna be put on you, spit them.
Also, if you Google Ray Rice, it's okay.
Oh,
anyhow,
yeah, that's right.
Dave Chappelle just.
But no, I'm just saying we're gonna have a talk. That's it. We're gonna have a talk, and I gotta get an understanding.
We do
of
not
what
accept
you meant
any
by that, and then we'll handle it accordingly.
Everybody keep their fluid to themselves.
I'm doing the splits back here because I don't know what's happening.
Unless
this
we sign waivers.
Episode.
If you sign waivers, then we can do fluids. Go ahead, Sid.
Sid wearing helmets. She doing furniture stands. What's going on?
You guys are talking about, nope, not going to repeat it. You guys can rewind this. I hope you like, comment, subscribe to this. We are on YouTube, and TJ is just sitting there holding his head in his hands. We would like to thank DJ Hed from Carson, California, LA Zone, holding it down, knowing everything and everyone in the music biz. Thank you for sitting with us.
Thank you. I
and
appreciate
coming out
you.
here to the studio. This has been another episode of Housecall. You just never know what you're going to get. I'm Sibley Scholes.
TJ Ward, like, subscribe, comment.
Bye, guys.